Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Let's analyze some of the verses of the Quran from Bab number 9, which is If'ilalun and If'alun. As we know that this is 9a and If'alun is 9b. All right, so أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يوم تبيض وجوه وتسود وجوه فأما الذين اسودت وجوههم أكفرتم بعد إيمانكم فذوقوا العذاب بما كنتم تكفرون. All right, so here we have تبيض وتسود. So first of all, we have to find out if it is present or past or فعل الأمر, or is it اسم الفاعل or اسم المفعول. Yes, so what is this over here? تبيض. Is this past or present? Present tense, okay. Present for the masculine or for the feminine?
It's masculine instead.
Masculine doesn't start with the, it starts with the ya, right?
Feminine,
Yeah.
feminine.
And then we have wujuhun, as we know that wujuhun is the plural of wajhun, and this is ghayru aqil. So ghayru aqil is singular feminine. So that's why the verb that we will, or the verb that is used is singular feminine, as we can see over here. And similarly, we have taswaddu. So again, this is the present tense of iswadda, yaswaddu. And why we have for the feminine? Because we have wujuhun. فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ اسْوَدَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ. What about iswaddat? Is it present or past?
It's what that is past.
Past, excellent. Yeah, because we know this the asakina, it only comes for the past, and that is for the singular past for the third person. Iswaddat wujuhuhum, and again we know that wujuhun is the plural of wajhun, and we have to use the verb, or the verb that has been used in the Quran is for the singular feminine. And here we have the present tense, and here we have the past tense. And if you want to learn, like to master it, you can just do the conjugation. Iswadda, iswadda, iswaddu, iswaddat. So we can see over here. And similarly, you can start from yabiyadda, yabiyadda, yabiyaddu. And similarly, you can yabiyadduna, and then you can continue. And similarly with aswaddu. And inshallah, with the conjugation, that will definitely help you to figure out. Okay. So we know that it means to turn bright, tabiyaddu, and will turn bright, because we know that the mudari can be translated as present, and it can be also translated for the future. And now it's confirmed that it is also used for the future. So on the day when some faces will turn bright, while other faces will turn dark, as for those whose faces turn dark, they will be told, okay, you need to notice on this one, and you have to tell me, where do we have, they will be told, did you disbelieve after having believed? Taste the punishment for your disbelief. Yes. So my question is, they will be told, where do we have in the verse of the Quran?
Mahdoof Ustad, but
Mahdoof, excellent, yeah. And what is mahdoof over there? Amma, as we know that amma, so when we have amma or fa'amma, so we know that there is like mubtada and there is khabar. So mubtada comes with, it comes with like amma, and when we have khabar, the khabar always comes with fa, right? So fa'amma al-yatima fala taqhar wa amma as-sa'ila fala tanhar, right? So wa amma as-sa'ila fala tanhar. So we have fa over there. So here, akafartum, so before that, if you remember in the previous lesson, we discussed that fayuqalu lahum, it will be said to them, or they will be told. Fayuqalu lahum. Okay, so fayuqalu lahum is mahdoof, and that's the beauty of the Arabic language. So we have to see that whenever we have amma, after that we have to have fa after that. And if there is no fa after that, that means that something has been dropped. But in the translation, you see the translators, mashallah, beautifully, they have, translated over here, and we can see that it's in the brackets, and that means that this is something extra, and this is not the part of the real text of the Quran. Then we have وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ بِيَضَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ اللهم جَلْنَا مِنْهُمْ. So what about إِبْيَضَّتْ?
Past Ustad.
Past tense, excellent. And the same, here we have iswaddat and here we have ibiyaddat. And you know why I'm reading it as iswaddat and ibiyaddat? Because I am not connecting it. But when we connect it, then it becomes naswaddat, and also here it becomes nabyaddat. We know that, right? Because this hamza is hamzat al-wasl. And but when we are just talking about the verb itself, without the conjugation or without assimilating it with the word before it, then we will say ibiyaddat, and similarly we will say iswaddat, and it means to turn white. Okay. وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدُهُمْ بِالْأُنْثَى ظَلَّ وَجْهُهُ مُسْوَدًّا وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. Muswaddan. First of all, let's figure out what kind of derived noun is this. Mushtaqun, right?
It's the
Mushtaqun is derived, yeah.
oh,
So it could be ismul fa'il and it could be ismul maf'ul, because we know that ismul fa'il and ismul maf'ul, they come on the same pattern, right? Okay, now my question is, why is it mansub? Does anyone have any idea? We have
because of Dalla ismu kana because
excellent. Dhalla is min akhawatu kana. Ahsanti, yes. Dhalla is from the sisters of kana. So we know that when we talk about the sisters of any particle, that means they will have the same function, and then they have one leader like kana, and we have inna, two leaders. So the rest of the like particles or the rest of the words that we have, they will have the same function. So dhalla is like kana, and it means to become or to turn. So wajhuhu will be ismu dhalla, and muswaddan will be khabaru dhalla. Like we have ismu kana and khabaru kana, right? Excellent. So here it is khabaru dhalla, and it is ismul fa'il. It's on the pattern of ismul fa'il. And when one of them is informed the birth of a female, his face becomes dark and he suppresses grief. Okay. So here it is ismul fa'il, and because of dhalla, it is mansub. ألم تر أن الله أنزل من السماء ماء فتصبح الأرض مخضرة. Again, مخضرة.
mushtaq Ustad, ismu fa'il
مشتق اسم الفاعل أو اسم المفعول, right? Okay, so here again, why الأرض is مرفوع and مخضرة is منصوب? Yes. أصبح يصبح is also from the sisters of Kana. Excellent. It is also from the sisters of Kana, similar to Dhalla. So both of them are sisters of Kana. Similarly, we have learned Amsa, we have learned Amsa Yumsi, Asbaha Yusbihu, Zala Yazalu, right? And then we have also Kana, Yakunu, and Dhalla Yadhallu. So we have 5 or 6 sisters of Kana that have been used in the Quran, and subhanallah, 2 of them we have here already. So we know that Ismu Kana is always, or Ismu, the sisters of Ismu Kana will be marfu, and Khabaru, we can say Asbaha Yusbihu will be mansub, as we can see over here. So the earth becomes green. So that means here it is Ismul Maf'ul, the receiver of the action, right? It's not the doer of the action. As we can see from the context, that when it rains, then the earth becomes green. So earth is not the doer of the action. Earth is the receiver of the action, right? So here it is Ismul Maf'ul. Then we have وَمِن دُونِهِمَا جَنَّتَانِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ مُدْهَامَّتَانِ. Yes, مُدْهَامَّتَانِ. Do you remember? Mushtaqun, yeah. Is it idhamiman? Yeah, okay. And is it from is it 9a or 9b? Is it if'alla yaf'alu, or is it if'alla yaf'allu?
If'alla Ustad.
if Allah has alif into it, yeah? Yeah. Because if Allah doesn't have alif into that, it's okay, mashallah, you're trying to figure out. So we know that if Allah doesn't have alif into it, so it will be if Allah. Whereas if Allah has alif into it, and that alif will be carried out into everything, we can say ismul fa'il and ismul maf'ul. So this is the alif over there, okay? And dark green, turning dark green, and mudhammun. And then we have mudhammatun, and then the dual will be mudhammatan. Excellent. And besides these two, there will be two other gardens. وَمِن دُونِهِمَا جَنَّتَانِ. So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny? Would you, both of you, ins wal jinn, and both of deepest green? So they will be deepest green. All right. So alhamdulillah, we have seen like this bab doesn't really have lots of like the verbs that are used in the Quran, but still, even if you are able to learn only one, and mashallah, we have seen like almost 6 or 7 verses of the Quran, that is inshallah something like amazing for us, and we are learning so many things. So inshallah, like this, little by little, inshallah, drop by drop, it will become the ocean. Now we can see that we have some vocab over here, and the vocab, why we always like discuss is because we get used to the forms of the verb, different forms, and also we memorize that because vocab is very important. As we know, it's the building block of the language. So we have infataha, yanfatihu infitahan, form number 7. So it is infa'ala, yanfa'ilu infi'alan, to open by itself. As we know that this form carries the meaning which is passive. It's not the passive form, but the meaning is passive. So in fataha or al-babu, the door opened by itself. In fatahat an-nafidatu, the window opened by itself. And itself means maybe there was like storm, and then because of the storm it opened, but no one physically opened it. So that's why it is in the passive meaning or in the passive context. Qawama yuqawimu taqwiman, form number 2, to straighten, and we know that this is causative, that you make something become straight. So it's what will be the root letters? Qama yaqumu, and from qama yaqumu we have qawama yuqawimu taqwiman. Now we know that qama, what will be the root letters of qama? Qama yaqumu, right? So qama yaqumu, if you remember, we discussed that it's easy to figure out the root letters if we look at the present tense. In the present tense, we see that because we know alif is never ever part of the root letter. Never. Alif will never ever be the part of the root letter. So we have qaf and mim, and we don't know whether it is alif or it is waw. We know that alif cannot be the part of the root letter. So it can be either waw or ya. And how would we know it is waw or ya? In the present tense, that waw comes out, as we can see over here. So the root letters will be qaf, yes, waw, and mim. Excellent. And one of the ways that we can see how to figure it out, when you look into form number 2, then if there is a waw, it always comes back. It always comes back, like nama, and then we have nawama, to put someone on sleep, and similarly we have qama and qawama. So there are 2 ways. Either we wait until we reach form number or the bab number 2, or we look at the present tense, and inshallah we will be able to figure out that this is, the root letters are qaf, waw, and mim. Similarly, qala yaqulu, we know that qawala yaqulu, and after the changes it becomes qala yaqulu. And then,
so can you please repeat this? In form number 2, the
like the root letter comes, the root letter comes back, like qama yaqumu, and we have here qawama yuqawimu. So basically there was waw in the root letters, right? And now it's visible over here. Similarly, nama yanamu. You remember the root letters of nama? Someone? Nawema yanmamu, nama yanamu. Excellent. Yeah. And similarly, khafa yakhafu, khawefa yakhwafu, right? Yeah. So now, okay. So khafa, bring it into form number 2. Khawafa. Okay. Then we have nama, bring it into form number 2. Nawama. So what's the meaning of nama? That means to sleep. What's the meaning of nawama?
Make
To put someone into sleep. Yeah,
put
okay.
some-
Yeah, excellent. Then we have khafa is to fear, and khawafa means to frighten someone, right? To make someone fear or to frighten someone. Hmm? Khawafani fatakhawaftu. He frightened me and I got frightened. So now you can see inshallah over here that these are small things, and when you focus a little bit more, you will be able to figure out the root letters. Iwajja, ya'waju iwajajan, to become crooked or twisted. The form that we have discussed in this lesson number 24. Tamakkana, yatamakkanu, and it always comes with the preposition of min. That means to be able or to manage. Form number 5. So هل أنتم متمكنون بالأبواب العربية أم لا؟ متمكن يعني someone who is like master or someone who is able to do something. Yes or no?
Trying.
Alhamdulillah, we have been like, it's been a long journey, but Alhamdulillah, we have reached up to number 9, and then there is only one left. And we have been discussing, Alhamdulillah, since we started book 2. I mean, so I'm sure you are getting used to it. And I do believe that it takes some time, but inshallah, I'm sure now you have reached a stage where you're able to figure out. Aghdaba, yughdebu igdaban is to make angry. What's the meaning of ghadiba? From
Get
number
angry.
1. To be angry, yeah, to get angry, and aghdaba is to make someone angry. Ihmarra, yahmarru ihmararan, to turn red, and we have learned that it's not necessary that from number 9 should have a verb that is 3 root letters. It's not necessary. Awaja, this one has ain, waw, and jim. This one, and we have in the Quran as well, iwaja. Whereas ihmarra and ikhdarra, iswadda, ibyadda, they do not have verbs that are 3 root letters. So some verbs can be only 9, the verb bab number 9, which does not belong to any other, like form or any other bab of the verbs. Sakhara min, sakharan and sukhriyatan, to mock and ridicule. I think it's both sukhriyatan, and also it comes with the tashdid as well, as far as I remember. Sukhriyatan, to mock or to ridicule. Istaghfara, yastaghfiru istighfaran. That is inshallah going to be the base verb for from number 10 that we will start inshallah in the next lesson. Then we have tawadda'a, yatawadda'u, tawaddu'an, to perform wudu. This is from number 5. And how do we know? It starts with ta and then it has tashdid in it. So ta and tashdid, the combination makes from number 5. Then we have ibiyadda, yabiyaddu, ibiyadadan, to become white, from number 9. And iswadda, yaswadu, iswidadan, from number 9 again, to become black. Salaha, yasluhu, salahan, to be good, proper, in order, and pious as well. And salaha, yasluhu, and what will be from number 4?
Aslaha yuslihu.
Aslaha, yuslihu, islahan, fahuwa muslihun. Excellent. Then we have ba'a, yabi'u, bay'an, to sell. And then we have thamaratun, and the plural is thamarun, produce or yield of tree. Do you know what kind of noun is this? Or thamarun, ismul jam, excellent. So most of the times, in Arabic, most of the time, only ismul jam is used and the singular particle or the singular item is not used. For example, tufahatun means an apple, but in Arabic we use at-tufah, right? Similarly, samakatun means a fish, but in Arabic, what do we use? As-samaku, right? So similarly, thamaratun, we use thamarun. And what about the date? So from thamaratun, I remember something. What is that? The date that we eat? Yeah, tamaratun is one date, or we can say, and then we have tamarun, that is basically the plural of tamratun. So if you talk about one thing, like one apple or one date, or you talk so singular thing, then it will be with tamratun, it will be with tamarbuta. And when we talk about the plural, then it will be without the marbuta. And this is very common in Arabic language. Similarly, burtaqalatun is an orange, but normally in Arabic they use the word al-burtaqalu or burtaqalun. They normally, I haven't seen like somewhere written burtaqalatun or tufahatun or samakatun. Wherever we go, we see like as-samaku, al-burtaqalu, and similarly at-tufahu. Bada yabdu is to appear. What is the verb to start something? Bada yabdu. Bada. Bada'a, right? Bada'a yabda'u, that is to start something. And if you take bada'a yabda'u into form number 8, then what does it become? Ibtada'a yabtadi'u ibtida'an. Any ideas about mubtada'un wa khabarun? So why do we call it mubtada'un? Why do we call it mubtada'un? Because that is the starter or the starting of the sentence. The sentence starts with that. So that's why that is called mubtada'un. Okay. Zaha yazhu zahwan. This is the masdar. Unripe date, when it starts turning red or yellow, it also means to blossom, something like the flowers are blossoming, or when the fruit like starts to come out, that is zaha yazhu. Nakhlatun, and the plural is nakhlun. Again, we can see over here the one more example. So one is just palm tree or date palm, but the plural will be nakhlun. One more example you can add to your vocab. Qala yaqli, qaliyan, to fry. Then we have faqada yafqidu, as we can see here. Fiqdanan wa fuqdanan, that means to lose something. Aibun, and the plural is uyubun, on the pattern of fu'ulun, defect, fault, or flaws. Idhama yadhamu idhimaman, to become dark green, and this is from 9, A or B. I think it's B, yeah. Aba ya'ibu aiban, to be defective. Okay, then we have isfarra, yasfarru is firaran, to turn yellow. Hazina yahzanu hazanan aw huznan. So we have two, we have masdarain over here, we can see, to become green. And then we have ihmarra yahmaru ihmiraran, to turn red gradually. Okay, so what's ishtadda yashtaddu from number 9 or 8?
8 Ustad.
8. And how do we say, why do we say it's 8? Because of ta over there. Excellent. Okay. Then we have khashabun, wood. Inshaqqa yanshaqqu inshiqaqan. What about this one? To split.
5.
Inshaqqa is 5. Is it 5?
No.
There is only one form that has in fa'ala. إذا السماء انشقت. Okay, I'll give you the example. Yeah. So inshaqqat, the sky will burst, like it will by itself, right?
No, it's the passive form, Ustad. It's
So it's basically from number 7, right? In fa'ala yanfa'ilu infi'alan. Okay, so we have inshaqqa yanshaqqu inshiqaqan. What about ishtaqqa? To derive ishtaqqa.
8.
8. Okay, excellent. Yeah. And ishtaqqa yashtaqu ishtiqaqan fahuwa mushtaqqun, right? So then we have mushtaqqun, the noun that is derived from the verb. Okay. Then we have idhama yadhamu idhimaman, to become dark green. Okay, sinnun, tooth, and also sinnun is used for age as well. And for the tooth, the plural will be asnanun, teeth. Ihtaraqa yahtariqu ihtiraqan is to burn or to get burned, from number 8. Rabi'un, spring. Then we have istaka yastaku istiakan from number 8. I was about to say 10, to be honest. Yeah. So this is also from number 8. Istaka yastaku istiakan, to clean the teeth. Okay. Then we have fawran, at once or instantly or immediately. Wajnatun, and the plural is wajanatun. Jannatun and jannatun. So cheek, especially the raised part. Minjalun, manajilu. What do you think the pattern of minjalun?
مفعل.
Ismul fa'il?
اسم العلم.
Ismul ala. Excellent. Yeah. Sickle. As we know that this is an instrument. So yeah, minjalun. And the second way to figure out is that these ones, they always, or most of the times, 99%, the plural will be on the pattern of mafa'ilu. Istaqama, yastaqimu istiqamatan. And does anyone remember why do we have this ta marbuta over here? Please.
double alif.
Excellent, because we have alif over here. And whenever you see this, that means the masdar will take ta marbuta, extra ta marbuta. Can you give me some examples from form number 4? Adafa yudifu idafatan. Okay, I give you an example.
أقامة.
Aqama yuqimu iqamatan. Anaba yunibu inabatan. Right? So whenever you see ta marbuta and masdar, that means that there was alif in the past tense, and just to compensate for that alif, because that alif gets dropped, it cannot be doubled. So what happens? Then it becomes ta marbuta. Then we have raja yarju raja'an, to hope or to request. Iktafa yaktafi iktifa'an, to content oneself or to be satisfied. And waliya yali waliyan, and it has lots of meanings, as we can see over here. To administer, to govern, to be close. Close, to be close is like waliyun, to come next and to follow. And then we have ba'sun, harm or hurt. La ba'sa, tahurun insha'Allah. So when someone is like sick, we say this. Ba'sun shadidun, strength. And then also it is used for the war. And then we have istajala, yastajilu, istijalan, from number 10. And inshallah, from number 10 is going to be our last form that we are going to learn. So alhamdulillah, we have completed this lesson. And inshallah, in the next lesson, we will start our form number 10. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
جزاكم الله.
وإياكم بارك الله فيكم.